Well, first of all, there's difficulty because it's high profile. When you have two national powers play, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. And unfortunately for us, we've been on the losing end of some of those games, and that's unfortunate. But at the same time, we've had some big games where we've been on the winning end. I mean, I certainly look at the national championship that we won in 2002, and certainly look at that big Texas game that we won in that Texas series. The Michigan game a couple years ago was probably one of the biggest games that ever happened in college football, with number 1 and number 2 playing at the end of the season, and we won that particular game. So we've won some big games, but I think most people seem to look at the two national championship games and consider those the big games. The great point about that is that we were in a position that just about every school in Division I would like to have been in, to have been able to play in that football game. We were able to play in that football game. We didn't win it, but it took a lot of big wins to get there. And I'm looking forward to the future, because I think Ohio State is positioned to get in those positions again. And hopefully we will get over the hump that we've had in the last couple of years. Well, I always enjoyed the Woody Hayes shows, and I recall that the Woody Hayes show was done live, and when it's done live, all your mistakes are going to be seen, and it was fun because it was a show that was done at 11:30 on Saturday nights, and that would be after we played the football game that day. And the guys enjoyed going on the show because Woody was able to get us $5 for our dinner, so that we could have some food to eat. He was able to provide us with $5, and that was always very, very helpful. Now, $5 might not seem like much now, but in the 1970s, that was seemed to be like a whole lot of money, and it could take care of a dinner for you. But the guys enjoyed being on the show, but we knew that when we were on the show that Coach Hayes was going to ask us the question, but he was also going to answer the question for us, and most of our comments were yes, sir, and no, sir. But we enjoyed doing it. It was always an honor to be on the program, because usually when you're on the program, it was because you had a great game. And Coach really wanted to highlight those folks that stood out that particular day in the game. Do I think Jim Tressel will ever do it that way? I don't know that he will. I mean, he can, because most of the time that he tapes his show, it's usually on Saturdays after his game that he has here at the Ohio State University. But his show is done on tape, and it's shown the next day. His show is probably a little more broad, because he covers other things in that show other than just the game of football. He'll focus in on the managers. He'll focus in on people who are close to the program, counselors and things of that sort. But the Woody Hayes show was done live, and what you see was what you got. I mean, that's how it was, and it was fun though for the players, and he had an audience there that would be there clapping, and a lot of people would show up for the Woody Hayes show. But I don't know that Coach Tressel would do that because I think he likes the idea of tape, and the fact that with videotape, you can do a lot of things and you can cover a lot more. Well, Ernie Davis was a hero as far as African American athletes, African American running backs when we were growing up. You knew about Jim Brown. Ernie Davis came along and won the Heisman Trophy. A lot of people thought Jim Brown was going to win it. He didn't win it, but Ernie Davis did win it. And Ernie Davis had a fabulous career at Syracuse, where he wore the number 44, the famed number 44, where they give to an athlete who really, really is their standout athlete. And he was a man who was honored to get to wear that number 44. His career was a great career while he was in college, but he suffered from cancer, and he was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, and everybody thought that he and Jim Brown would be in the backfield together and make a dynamic tandem for the Cleveland Browns. But unfortunately, Ernie really didn't get to play any games because after he finished his college career, that cancer pretty much got the most of him, and he ended up passing away. And it's really one of those situations where you only wonder what could have happened with him in professional football, playing in the same backfield as a guy who was a mentor of his, Jim Brown. As far as the film is concerned, I enjoyed watching the film. It gave me a lot of appreciation for what he went through because he really went through a lot, especially traveling to the South and playing against Southern teams, going into Texas and playing Texas. He went through a whole lot. His coach, as a matter of fact, kind of was afraid to let him score a touchdown because of the abuse that he would have taken when he would play in the South. I mean, it was just that bad at that time. And when you see the movie, you develop an appreciation for what he went through. He was an outstanding, tough young man who really should have made Syracuse very, very proud of his performance on and off the field. I actually have had the opportunity to go to Elmira, New York, where Ernie Davis was raised, and take part in some different events that surrounds Ernie Davis and his name. I was given the Ernie Davis Humanitarian Award several years ago, and I'll always appreciate the affection that community has for Ernie Davis, and I think that the fact that they did a movie on Ernie is something that should have been done.